All right, let's jump straight into today's explainer. We're looking at a super fun piece of source material called the Amazing Alphabet Hop. Basically, it's this fantastic blueprint for a gamified, interactive learning experience that uses physical movement to teach phonetics. We're going to break down exactly how this script turns everyday letter sounds into an epic adventure for early learners. It's actually a brilliant example of kinesthetic learning, where the physical act of moving is literally just as important as hearing the sounds.
Ready to jump, explorers? Let's hop through the whole alphabet. The sheer, unbridled energy right out of the gate is pretty striking, isn't it? That opening quote sets the tone instantly. And notice that specific word choice, explorers. The kids aren't just students sitting quietly at a desk. They're adventurers on a quest. It builds this immediate expectation of action. As a host, you've really got to project immense energy here to hook your audience and prep them for the physical task ahead.
To set the stage, the script gives us a very specific visual cue, a colorful room with letter mats from A all the way to Z spread completely out on the floor. I want you to mentally map out this play space with me. The floor isn't just a floor anymore, it's a giant scattered game board of vibrant targets. This spatial setup is absolutely crucial because it forces the explorers to actively scan their environment, which reinforces visual recognition right alongside auditory processing. It's like a giant puzzle.
Section 1. Level 1. A to G.
This creates our very first operational zone. Picture a grid layout representing those letters, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Imagine these specific, colorful mats scattered directly at the feet of our explorers as they start their journey. This is their primary field of focus. Visualizing the floor mats like this really helps us understand the physical landscape the kids are navigating, the moment those phonetic calls start ringing out.
Notice the highly structured two-part command for every single letter. The host yells out, "Listen for the aw sound, find A, good job," and then they rapid fire right into the next one. "Listen for the buzz sound, hop to B." Listen to how explicitly the hard cuss sound is used for C. Listen for the cuss sound, find C. They just keep it rolling with the sounds for D, E, F, and G. It creates this constant rhythmic loop. You hear the prompt, you do the action, boom, boom, boom.
Now, the source material includes a very specific rule for the host. You have to pause for exactly 3 seconds after each clue. And this is totally non-negotiable. Why? Well, it gives the kids the processing time they need to physically hop to the correct letter. Let's actually simulate that interactive moment right now. Did you find the G sound for G? See, that brief silence is where the magic of active learning actually happens. That's the exact time it takes for the brain to connect the sound to the visual shape and tell the legs to jump.
Section 2. Level 2. H to P.
So the next batch of colorful targets is waiting on the floor. H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, and P. As the game progresses, the explorers are moving deeper into the room, scanning this entirely new array of letters. The visual field shifts, and honestly, this is right about where the physical stamina of the game starts kicking in.
For this middle sequence, you really have to maintain that high energy. The script calls for a clear, rapid delivery to keep the kids totally engaged. We get the sounds for H, I, and J. Then, listen for the K sound, find K. Moving right along to L, M, N, O. And finally, listen for the P sound, hop to P. Because the phrasing is perfectly consistent, the learners never have to guess the rules of the game. They literally just have to focus on decoding those phonetic sounds.
Once again, we hit that vital 3-second pause. Let's test that active call and response engagement. Imagine the mat on the floor. Did you hop to the P sound for P? That built-in breathing room is so smart. It ensures absolutely no one gets left behind in the frenzy of the activity. It allows the kids to physically complete the task before the next cognitive challenge is thrown at them.
Moving to Section 3, Final Stretch, Q to Z.
The final grouping of letter targets is spread across the colorful game floor, from Q all the way down to Z. The finish line is finally in sight. At this point, the kids have been hopping and listening continuously for a while, so the host's energy really needs to carry them through this final grid of floor mats.
Notice how the script handles some of the more complex phonetic combinations at the end of the alphabet. It absolutely does not shy away from accuracy. The host explicitly calls out, "Listen for the qu sound, find Q." Then it moves through R, S, T, U, V, and W, and then we hit another really unique one. Listen for the x sound, hop to X. Finally, we round it out with Y and the grand finale. Last one, listen for the Z sound, hop to Z. The script specifically notes to announce Z as the last one, just to give them that final burst of motivation. Let's use one last 3-second interactive pause to solidify that learning process, especially for one of those trickier sounds we just talked about. Did you find the qu sound for Q? Excellent. See, by explicitly teaching that qu sound rather than just the letter name, the source material ensures we're building real foundational reading skills, not just rote memorization. Section 4. The Victory Celebration. You did it! You hopped all the way from A to Z. You are incredible sound hoppers. The script actually explicitly calls for the auditory sound of cheers and celebration to play right here. It's a full sensory reward. The host wraps up by saying, "Give yourselves a huge round of applause. See you next time." This final sign-off is just incredibly effective. It affirms exactly what they achieved, learning their letter sounds, and it frames future learning as something super fun to look forward to. And that brings us to the end of our breakdown. By pairing physical action with targeted phonetic sounds, the amazing alphabet hop creates a really dynamic, memorable educational environment. We've seen how the structured grid, the energetic calls, and those absolutely vital 3-second pauses all work together seamlessly. So I'll leave you with this final thought. You've mastered the mechanics of the A to Z hop. What sounds will you explore next time? Keep learning, keep exploring, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.